an inflection point happening in quantum computing. The number of logical qubits are starting to grow. Well, just like Moore's Law would, I could totally expect 10 times more logical qubits every 5 years, 100 times more logical qubits every 10 years. Those logical qubits would become better error-corrected, more robust, higher performance, more resilient, and of course, will continue to be scalable.
Talking about developing new materials, Jim, at the molecular level, perhaps down the road. They do have this partnership with Novo on drug discovery.
Look, I've been waiting for that. Recursion was supposed to be 1, 2, and the drug person is excellent. I keep hoping that they do some big deals on cancer. You're able. I've been listening to a lot of people who claim they have AI, and it's starting to bother me again because they're doing spreadsheets and calling it AI. After working with all of the sites that are now saying they're really good at math, they're awful at math. What bank would let them in? But you're seeing, I mean, I did a piece last night that basically said, okay, here we go. IONQ, D-Wave Quantum, Rigetti, quantum computing, go get them. And David, look at that. I'm not saying I'm a sage.
No.
I am saying that Jensen is giving the green light to a lot of companies that may mean absolutely nothing, but they have quantum in their name. I mean, Honeywell's been very honest and said, listen, we're not ready.
Right.
And IBM does have quantum, and that's one of the reasons why IBM is at an all-time high.
Those are incredible moves. If you were lucky enough to have decided that quantum was where you wanted to be at the beginning of this year, you are very happy, or even last year.
Well, what do you mean
Guys,
by that?
Well, I mean, I think it's not yet proven, right? We don't know.
But it's younger people who are really cashing in.
And you've made
sit here and tell people to buy Smucker.
You've made this point, right? You've made this point about nuclear and certain crypto assets.
Well, it's very disheartening. I'm disheartened by it.
Well, don't be disheartened.
Why?
By the way,
what value added do we have? I read the names.
You want to get heartened? Read Sam Altman's blog post from last night. It's entitled "The Gentle Singularity," and we had Jensen. I think when you talk about the leaders right now in terms of where the future is, it's Jensen, and it's a lot of it's Sam Altman.
Well, they're great friends. And you remember, nothing took off.
I took out a few things
until he gave Sam the
took out a few things that just struck
me.
in
please tell me something good.
What is a letter that I think people should read because it's got a lot of different things in it, but part of it is, of course, talking about the near-term advances that are coming. As for the 2030s, for example, he writes, intelligence and energy ideas and the ability to make ideas happen are going to become wildly abundant. We hear that word a lot, by the way, abundant. These two have been the fundamental limiters on human progress for a long time. With abundant intelligence and energy and good governance, we can theoretically have anything else. He goes on to say, if we have to make the first million humanoid robots the old-fashioned way, but then they can operate the entire supply chain, digging and refining minerals, driving trucks, running factories to build more robots, which can then build more chip fabrication facilities, data centers, and the rate of progress will be quite different. And finally, last part I'll take for you guys, and the one I've been focused on, there will be very hard parts, like whole classes of jobs going away. But on the other hand, the world will be getting so much richer so quickly that we'll be able to seriously entertain new policy ideas we never could before. We probably won't adopt a new social contract all at once, but when we look back in a few decades, the gradual changes will have amounted to something big.
Well, okay.
Because nobody's going to have a job, so we're all going to be wandering around looking for some purpose. But we're going to have an age of abundance. An age of abundance.
You drive me crazy.
Thank you.
We have
succeeded.
A birth rate.
My work here is done.
We have a birth rate that's like the Handmaid's Tale. And we need people, and you may think that and we're rounding up people in this country and sending them where God knows where. We don't let anybody in the country. We have a series of jobs now that the only people who really wanted them were people who felt, look, this is how I can get my kid to college, which is really kind of the goal. And you're going to need all the robots you can get, and you need robots making the robots. And I don't know why you are so cavalier about the idea that we have enough people in this country to do jobs.
I'm not talking about the population at this point in terms of the lack of growth in certain countries. Obviously, our country is far from in danger. South Korea, they got a real problem. That's something like
Italy has a
0.7.
problem.
Italy, yeah. But all that said, I just want to point out that you're going to continue to hear, whether it's Musk or Altman or Hassabis at DeepMind, this idea of an age of abundance coupled with huge social changes that may have to take place in the social safety net,
Industrial
perhaps,
Revolution.
or a universal income. It's coming fast,
How
Carl.
about those
potentially? Now, I always sit here and remember we talked about autonomous cars 7 years ago, like they'd be here tomorrow,
Right.
and they're finally just about
and they're about to
get
fly
here.
too. I mean, Joby's
So
just got a lot of
things-
money from the government.
You know, they're not always right.
Joby's
in terms
real.
of-
I got to tell you, Carl, David probably in another time sat here and bemoaned the seamstresses.
or the farmers.
He misses the agrarian
He
economies.
misses the Jeffersonian period, David.
The man brought us tomatoes, all right? So, enough.